So hello, in this video I'm going to talk about the mind hack that can help you heal. So your mind can affect your body. The science shows this. In this video I'm going to share how you can use the power of your mind to change your brain to support healing. My name's Simon Pimenta. If you don't know me, I had ME, CFS, fibromyalgia for 8-9 years. At one point I couldn't walk for 1 minute, got back to work, got back to life, and I share videos and resources to help you move towards your goals. So if you like this video, do subscribe, hit the notification button on my YouTube channel, check out the playlists on other topics. If you're watching live, do say hello. If you're watching the replay, pop #replay in the chat box. So humans have the ability to step back and observe. I call this supervision. Let me just find the slide. So supervision, the ability to spot patterns, the ability to recognize unhelpful, limiting responses that are habitual and change them into more useful responses. If we practice that, this can rewire the brain. Dip says, live, nice to have you join me. So this rewires the brain, making it easier to generate more helpful, more resourceful responses. So the way you think can either put your body in a state of stress, which will hinder your body's attempts to heal, slow it down, or can put your body in the healing state. So changing the way you respond to events and the way you think about things is important if you have ME, CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, long COVID, and related conditions. So you can shift your mindset, and this will reduce stress and overwhelm. It will boost nervous system regulation, and the nervous system regulation, feelings of calm, feeling of being able to influence things will boost your optimism. This nervous system regulation helps activate the healing state, which supports healing. So I'm going to share 15 limiting responses and 15 ways of changing your thinking to support healing and recovery. I'll tell you at the end how you can access a free resource to help you embed this mind hack. So this ability to change the way we think about things and the ability to see things in more resourceful ways is called reframing. Rudyard Kipling said, "Words are the most powerful medicine known to man." Maybe if he was more enlightened, he would have said to women as well. So I've shared some ideas that already illustrate the power of reframing. And Charles Darwin said the following: "It's not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. In order to be resilient, we need to be flexible in our thinking." And the work I do as a coach is to help people spot when they're not being flexible in their thinking and help them understand how this can limit them, get them in trouble, and how to shift that. So, for example, when I say to a client, "What are your options?" they might come up with one option or 3 options, and I'll say to them, however many ideas you come up with, I bet I can double that. Okay, if you come up with 3, I'll come up with 6. And what I'm doing is illustrating that at the moment I'm being more flexible than them, but my goal is for them to be able to be as flexible in their thinking as being able to come up with lots of ideas. So being more creative in our thinking. So let me know in the chat which ones you recognize that you currently do and which ones you recognize would be more useful to shift your way of thinking. So use your judgment, discern which ones I share are a fit for you, could work for you. All right. So here's how you can reframe some common thoughts for a more hopeful mindset. The first one is making the shift from failure to feedback. Instead of "I failed," for example, people say to me, "I've got symptoms, therefore I've failed." We could shift this to feedback. I've got some information here. I've learned something I can build on. So the second one is thinking about symptoms, pain, to sensations. When we say things like "these symptoms, this pain is overwhelming," those words are pretty powerful, and they activate a particular part of the brain that understands symptoms and pain. And for example, my ex-boss talked about the fact that if you go to a pain clinic, you keep seeing the word pain, and that activates parts of the brain that think about pain. So consider that you could use the word sensations instead. I'm feeling sensations. Often when I share this with clients, they recognize that using the word sensations is less emotive. Or you could even use funny words to describe the sensations you're experiencing. I think this came from the Curable app, where instead of saying words like pain, sensations, you might pain or symptoms, you might relabel it using a word like banana, grapefruit, tomato. I'm experiencing a lot of tomato right now. How does that feel when you say it that way? My sense is that it's a bit more playful. Okay. So the third one is permanent to temporary. This is something we talked about in the resilience group coaching this morning. Sometimes people talk about an experience. For example, I was talking about the fact that at one point I went swimming when I had ME/CFS, and the water was just too cold and I was drained for the rest of the day and the next day. And so I just decided that for now, swimming's probably not the best thing. But I didn't make it permanent. I did see someone post on Twitter saying, "I went swimming and it really drained me, therefore I can't go swimming." And it had a sense of permanence about it. So remember, we don't have a crystal ball, so we can't make those kinds of predictions. But if you do make that kind of prediction, "I can't go swimming ever again," then how's that going to make you feel? Compared to if you say, "Well, this is temporary. At some point, this may change." Okay, so this will never change. Shifts to "this is" or maybe temporary. Change is possible. So the fourth one, hopeless to hopeful. And actually, this is really interesting because someone said this to me when I was coaching them. Actually, I've gone from feeling hopeless to hopeful. Okay, so this idea, there's no point in trying, can become there's still opportunities to grow, to make progress. Number 5, pessimism to optimism. Everything is going wrong. How often have you felt that? There are times when I've felt that way. Okay, consider that we can shift that to there are still things that are going right. So we've got to consider what we're focusing on. If we focus on all the things that have gone wrong and ignore the things that are going right, we're distorting reality, but that distortion gives us that sense of pessimism. So embracing that idea, there are still things that are going right. I can take small steps to help me move forward. And this is something else we talked about in the resilience group coaching, that we can get into a flow state where we're just absorbed by whatever we're doing and we don't have to do it for long. I was talking about playing the guitar for 5 minutes or the piano, and it just made a difference because for 5 minutes I was just enjoying the experience and being present in the moment. So number 6, limitation to adaptation. So often people say things like, "I can't do everything I used to do." And that may be true, but it's important to recognize that we could just say, at the moment, I'm learning to adapt to my current temporary circumstances and prioritize what matters. This is temporary. This is a phase I'm going through. Okay, so just notice the difference and just how does that feel to reframe it that way? And consider that the capacity to adapt, That's what the Charles Darwin quote is all about. Okay, it's the ability to be responsive to change. Number 7, setback to pause or adjustment. So I've regressed, shifting to my body is signaling that I need to pause, recharge, recalibrate, refocus. Consider that pausing allows time to heal and regroup without judgment. I made a quick little video today about this practice of checking in or tuning in. Something I do at the start of the resilience group coaching calls, which happen every fortnight. If you're interested, I'll let you know how you can join those sessions. And I did a little check-in, and I noticed that I was experiencing tension in my neck and shoulders. And when I tuned into that, I realized I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed because I just feel like I'm being quite busy at the moment, and I'm kind of visiting my mum at her nursing home in the evenings. Maybe I've been staying a little bit late just because I have been busy. Maybe I just need to leave a bit earlier, make sure I get an early night, so that actually that gives my body the chance to recharge. So, as I say, pausing allows time to heal and regroup without judgment. Often people judge themselves because they need to pause. Actually, it can be a real asset for the reason that I've just described. Sometimes I might need to rest, recharge. Other times I might need to change what I'm doing. For example, an energy dip might be a sign that I'm bored and I need a bit of connection, fun, stimulation. Number 8. And if you just joined, do say hello in the chat. All or nothing to this is a process. So some people get into the mindset of, if I can't do it all, it's not worth doing. Actually, that's not very helpful. This is a common thing that shows up, for instance, when I've worked with people who are smokers, because I work as a hypnotherapist. They have given up smoking for 6 years. They have one cigarette. They view that as a failure, and they go back to smoking. And I ask them, why did you go back to smoking? They say, oh, well, I had one cigarette. Well, that doesn't explain why you carried on going. Sorry, that doesn't explain why you went back to smoking. And that is their mindset. It's all or nothing. And I ask them, would it be more useful to say to yourself, I went 6 years without smoking a cigarette. This is just a blip. I can carry on being a non-smoker. So small steps can add up to meaningful change. Progress is still made in small, consistent efforts, not perfection. And small steps can add up. Again, talked about this in today's resilience group coaching. If you want to watch today's video, someone just sent me a lovely message saying they found it fantastic, really helpful. In fact, 2 people did, and 2 actually work with me. So if you want to watch that video, again, I'll tell you at the end how you can do that. Number 9, shifting from weakness to vulnerability and strength. I'm too weak to function is a limited mindset, fixed mindset. I am weak because I'm unwell. That's a belief that's not very helpful. I've talked before about Gabor Mate, who talks about a Native American tribe who, if someone in the tribe gets sick, they say thank you to that person because they recognize it's perhaps a sign that there's something in the community that needs to be addressed. Okay, that's a much more resourceful way of supporting people. So making that shift to I'm okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be unwell. Consider that often, and you can let me know if you agree with this, often people who develop these conditions are highly sensitive people, and not everyone is. Some people are highly sensitive, some people are sensitive, some people are average, some people are insensitive, some people are very insensitive. And if you're a highly sensitive person, having to deal with someone who's very insensitive can be challenging. Okay? So being vulnerable is a sign of strength. and you can embrace that. Number 10, I'm stuck, to I'm evolving. So the mindset of I'm stuck like this forever, again, very fixed mindset. Healing isn't linear, but it's possible to embrace the notion that we're always learning and evolving. And actually, sometimes when we're stuck, change is happening at a subconscious level. If we generate frustration, this switches off our creative thinking. We are able to solve problems when we quieten our mind. So consider you could embrace the notion that you are constantly growing and gaining insights, even in challenging times. Number 11, shifting from I'm a burden to this is an opportunity for setting boundaries. So sometimes people feel this, I'm a burden on others. Actually, we could recognize that this is an opportunity to ask for support, to be compassionate towards ourselves, to set boundaries, to recognize that often people with these conditions have been over available. They have been there for others. And to recognize it is okay for me to receive help from others. Consider your needs matter, and others can learn how to support you. Remember, if you ask, you can't control other people. If you don't get what you want, you haven't lost anything. And perhaps you have an insight about who is on your team. And you may consider whether you want to be so available to people who tend to take and not give in a balanced way. Someone's given me a like, thanks for that. Next one, number 12, exhaustion to resourcing myself. I'm always exhausted. My body is asking me to tune in to what I need. Pausing and tuning in is productive. So pausing is an important tool in your healing and growth, not a failure. Okay, number 13, failure to keep up to personal success metrics. So let's just read a comment from KL Mac. I've been in a period of adjustment following a dose of COVID that put me on pause temporary. I'm still currently evolving and hopeful that the lessons I'm learning are going to be useful. Fantastic. So thanks for sharing that, okay? And, you know, I was talking about this a while back. I'm trying to think, about a year and a half ago, I got kind of COVID-type symptoms, and I was just much more relaxed about it. When I had ME, I'd be stressing about it. I just thought, I don't know how long it's going to take for my body to heal, but I'm just going to be relaxed about it. I'm just going to look after myself. And that kind of took the pressure off, supported my body's healing. So consider that many of us got sick, including me, because we didn't consider our well-being. So instead of shifting, I'm failing to meet life expectations, instead of saying to yourself, I'm failing to meet life's expectations, you could choose to embrace the notion that you define your own version of success based on what serves your well-being. So if you have a day where you don't push yourself, you could consider that a success and an important learning. Consider your journey is unique. Your success should reflect your needs and values. Number 14, symptoms are controlling me. These sensations are cues that I can respond to. Okay, sometimes people have that sense, symptoms are controlling my life. Actually, we could embrace the notion that symptoms provide signals that guide us towards better care, as in the example I gave you earlier. Your body does communicate what you need, and you can learn to tune in, listen to your body, and respond with curiosity, compassion, and take constructive action. I would suggest you have many times when you've listened to your body and responded appropriately, and you've experienced feelings of energy and well-being as a result. Let me know if that's true. So number 15, comparison to individual journey. So this relates to the failure to keep up personal success metrics. People can understandably get into that sense of everyone's getting on with their lives, everyone's doing more than me. You could just recognize that you are walking a different, unique path, and it's important you go at your pace. Comparison steals your peace, your joy. So focus on what's right for your body, for your mind. Dip says, yes, that is true. So thanks for sharing that. I'm going to give you a bonus tip. Consider the language you use, making the shift from small language to big language. Big language can boost our feel-good hormones. So we can shift from I'm just getting by to I'm navigating these challenges with courage, commitment and persistence. Notice the difference in how that feels. I remember a client saying, I went for a 30-minute walk. That was quite good. And another client said, I went for a 30-minute walk. That was amazing. I haven't done that for 2 years. Which of those two clients do you think generated hormones that boosted their immune function, boosted the feel-good hormones? I remember another client saying, I feel quite euphoric because of what they'd achieved. And I said, that's an interesting phrase, because do the words quite and euphoric go together? And he laughed and said, I'm euphoric. I said, how does that feel? He said, yeah, it feels really good. Okay. So reframing thoughts isn't about ignoring reality. It's about finding strength, possibility, and self-compassion. So D's Nuts Guy says, is this live or pre-recorded? I think you've got your answer. It's live currently. You are joining me live, and nice to have you with us. Remember, healing is not linear, so be kind to yourself. You're not alone in your journey. Taking action steps, even small steps, are important. In order to be resilient, we need to be flexible in our thinking. If you'd like the reframing cheat sheet with some examples of these mindset shifts, comment the word reframe below. Oops. Ines says, thank you, Simon. I feel that it's always helpful to try and bring in some humour, like your example with the crystal ball. You are welcome, Ines. Thanks for your feedback. So if you found this video helpful, do leave a comment, leave a like. It will help others find the video. If you do want help now, you're welcome to join the Resilience Group Coaching. It happens twice a month. There's no charge, but you're welcome to make a donation. If you want to go fast and want more help right now, I'm happy to have a chat with you to see if we are a good fit, if we could work together. So Joe says, thank you, Simone, recovery hero, bless you. KL says, reframe. Okay, I will share the link to that. If you like more tips, do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do join my Facebook group for resilience builders. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram. If you've got any comments, questions, pop them in the chat. If you've got a topic that you'd like me to cover, let me know. So thanks for watching, everybody. Keep going. You've got this. Take small steps and dare to dream big dreams. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye for now.